Fascia training has become really popular over the last few years, with a lot of people thinking that it's even more beneficial than traditional strength and conditioning for athletes and for athletic development. It has even managed to form a cult-like audience with people defending it with their lives and saying that every other training method is wrong and fascia training is the only way to improve athleticism, to fix pain, and to become stronger and a better athlete in general. But in today's video, I'm gonna prove to you why all of this is wrong and why all of this is complete nonsense. Just a quick disclaimer, I have nothing against the people who support this type of ideology, but I have a lot of things against the ideology itself. So let's get to it. So first, we actually have to ask ourselves, what is fascia? Because if we want to talk about it, we have to actually know what fascia is. And if you want to support this, we actually want to understand what the fascia is. So the fascia is a sheet of stringy ligaments which surrounds our whole body. It surrounds our ligaments, surrounds our joints, our muscles, our bones, pretty much the whole insides, even our organs. Okay, but with this you might actually ask yourself, what's the difference between our fascia and the tendons and ligaments we have in our body? Fascia is similar to our ligaments and tendons because they're all mostly created of collagen, but their function and their location is different. Tendons join our muscles to our bones, and ligaments join one bone to another bone. The fascia wraps around everything. It wraps around the muscles and around the bones. So it connects all of this together. So with this, two questions arise. The first one is, okay, if the fascia is wrapped around our whole body, how do we actually isolate it? And the second one is, how do we actually train it? In order to answer those questions for you, here are 5 facts about the fascia which are all proven by science, and I'm going to leave all the links to the scientific research below in the description so you can all see it for yourself. Number 1. While fascia can contract, the forces it can produce are really small. Actually, the forces are so small they can't even stabilize the joint properly, let alone move our whole body or move our muscles or move our joints. We're talking about 0.01 to 0.27 kilograms of force. Additionally, the minimum force you need to sit down or stand up is from 35 to 49 newtons per kilogram, which again, if you compare it to what the amount of force the fascia can produce, it just somehow doesn't all line up. I'm not gonna read through the whole research and through the whole screenshots because I just want to compact this into a short video, but I'm gonna put a lot of screenshots in the video. I'm gonna also leave them all in the description so you can read it for yourself. I'm just gonna try to summarize it and give it in the easiest way for you possible. Fact number 2, fascia does not contract voluntarily. Unlike skeletal muscles like the quads, the triceps, or even the biceps, the lats, it does not contract through electrical stimulation. Instead of electricity, fascia contracts in response to hormones. A specific lifting technique or a specific exercise is likely to have any meaningful impact on your hormones. So using the fascial lies to justify exercise selection or how to produce more force effectively or how to be a better athlete is likely misguiding. Fact number 3, fascia can temporarily relax in response to stretching, to static stretching. What this tells us is that dynamic stretching, on the other hand, also doesn't seem to give us the same effect. So all the fascia exercises and the spinning around you see online and here and there, this won't help you either. Fact number 4, fascial contractions are so small that they can't even directly affect power production and force production. Studies show us that when compared to stretching, reaction to hormones can take from 20 minutes to an hour versus a few minutes in response to normal stretching. Fact number 5, which is kind of related to the previous one, digesting food is a lot more similar to fascial contractions than even flexing your biceps. Taken all together, fascial contractions are much more similar to smooth muscle contractions than they are to muscle contractions or to skeletal muscle contractions. The stomach releases the hormone gastrin when food stretches the stomach, which triggers the churning mechanism, which is all happening involuntarily, which is much more similar to fascial contractions than it is to flexing your biceps or flexing your triceps. To summarize, fascia does contract and it can contract, but the forces it produces are extremely small, far too weak to even stabilize joints, move limbs, or contribute meaningfully to athletic performance in any way. Unlike skeletal muscles, fascia doesn't contract voluntarily or respond to electrical signals from the nervous system. Instead, it reacts to hormonal changes, making exercise technique or exercise selection really unlikely to directly affect it or to directly influence it. While fascia can temporarily relax through static stretching, dynamic stretching doesn't seem to get the same effect for the fascia. Fascial contractions also happen way too slowly to affect power development in any significant way, taking 20 to 60 minutes compared to minutes for stretch-induced responses. So following everything I just said, and if we all agree that it is true, because it is, as there is enough proof behind it, which I've already showed you and you can see below in the description. The next question is, why is it so important in the first place then? And why are so many people buying into it? And there is a whole community around it, and there are thousands and thousands of people supporting this type of training. First of all, we have to keep in mind that we live in a social media world where a lot of influence happens on social media. There is a lot of information on social media, and pretty much 90% of the things we consume on a daily basis come from social media. Also, we live in an era where people are constantly looking for the next dopamine hit, constantly looking for the next best exercise, constantly looking for the next training method and the best training method, and they are constantly looking for ways to get results faster. And what that does is that allows people who are great marketers to come in, create problems which do not exist, and then label you with that specific problem, telling you that what they have to offer is the solution to that problem, and then they capitalize off of you. They make you believe that whatever you're currently doing is wrong and that there is something wrong with you. They have a problem which needs to be fixed ASAP, and they somehow happen to offer the exact same solution for your problem, which is marketing 101. This is how marketing works, and this is how social media is helping those people to capitalize. When you combine the two things, you create something which is really, really powerful. And I actually can only admire those people and the way that they've managed to capitalize this and actually make this extremely famous and extremely popular. But the way they're doing it, the things that they're saying, the information they're sharing, the things they're preaching are things which I just simply cannot agree with. I just cannot. Yes, sure, there are a lot of people who have seen results with this type of fascia training. There are a lot of testimonials in those people's profiles. Yes, there are a lot of people who have actually seen results, I admit that. But the reason they did and the reason they saw results isn't because they somehow trained their fascia or because of the exercises they did, which are really fascia specific, and it's just because they trained. Because most of those people are people who have never stepped foot in the gym, have never followed a proper gym program, have never exercised in their life, or they barely did when they were kids. And so now they have problems which the fascia training somehow solves. And the exercises they were given and the fascia training they didn't really train their fascia. It just trained their muscles in ways which they never did before. The reason I'm doing this video isn't to make you hate the fascia community, nor the fascia guys, the things they have to offer, the exercises they preach, the whole fascia training. You can believe whatever you want. I'm just giving you all the facts, all the research that's been done on this specific topic, so you can make the conclusion for yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next one.